system and document storage.
I'll second the motion. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so voted. And we need to get a copy of that to the county attorney so he can apply for a grant. Okay, Jason, please.
Morning.
Did you have a good vacation, Jason?
Not really.
Not really?
Okay. Be up front and honest.
No happy hour this morning?
Population this morning, 48 in-house, 2 weekenders, 11 out on transfers, 2 electronic monitoring, 18 on pretrial release, total population of 82. Took in 17 inmates last week, 11 were repeaters, and 17 were released. Repeater charges, 1 came in for operating after suspension and suspension of registration, booked 3 times in 4 years. 1 for KPS, booked 6 times in 4 years. 1 for Controlled Drug Act, booked 4 times in 2 years. 1 for simple assault domestic, resisting arrest and protective custody, booked 2 times this year. 1 for an arrest warrant, booked 7 times in 18 years. 1 for a violation of a restraining order, booked 6 times in 18 years. 1 for 2 electronic bench warrants, booked 2 times in 2 years. 1 for a violation of probation, booked 4 times in 3 years. 1 for taking without owner's consent criminal trespass, booked 9 times in 10 years. 1 for an arrest warrant, booked 2 times this year. 1 for taking without owner's consent and criminal trespass, booked 2 times this year. 1 for simple assault and criminal mischief, booked 2 times this year. 1 for a KPS, booked 2 times in 2 years. And 1 for resisting arrest and disorderly conduct, booked 11 times in 3 years.
Could that section, could you duplicate that section and have it available for Monday?
This just
I
one.
think the delegation ought to be more aware of those kinds of things. Whether that we can do something about it or they can do something about it, I don't know, but I think it's awareness type thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other question I'd have is there anything that we could do to reduce that? Give that some thought.
Mm-hmm.
For a later meeting.
Okay.
It's just ridiculous to be hearing those reports, and yes, it's making aware of what's happening, but it's not correcting the situation. Whether we can do something to correct it, I have no idea, but...
Do you want just this one, or do you want me to go back and do, because I do it every week, do you want me to do kind of like
I would do that just as an example.
Okay.
This is what happened the week of July 20th in your report.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I think also that ought to be given to Mr. Babson. He's chairman of the subcommittee of the jail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a meeting in about 12 minutes to meet with Horizons. They're a organization out of Guilford. They provide mental health and substance abuse services to Belknap County, and they try to address both the mental health and substance abuse at the same time, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are co-addicted, or you know what I mean, dual
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed, that's the correct word. So the director's coming in to talk about providing services for us as well. On Friday, I have a meeting with Dr. Chris Swagger. He has an interest in providing medical care to our facility. He has history with Hillsborough, Rockingham, and Stratford counties. I may be losing our nurse practitioner because she's taking another job, so I don't know if she's going to be available. So he's going to be coming in. He has a partner that they're interested in entering into a contractual agreement with us to provide medical direction for our facility.
These people, we lost, this is the second person now that we're losing here within the last month.
It'll be 3.
It'll be 3 people.
3.
And is that due because we looked at prime care?
I don't think so.
You think so?
One definitely was.
Yeah.
The other one was a personal reasons.
Okay.
And this one I would classify as personal. It's just taking another job. It's not guaranteed right now, but it's just something I've
The
learned
process.
of. Right.
Okay.
The lighting issue, the transformer came in for that when I was out on vacation. I've notified Secure Controls in there. I'm waiting to hear back for when they're gonna come up and install that. Tri-State Fire.
Is that going to correct the situation so it doesn't happen again?
I hope
Is
so.
that just a replacement?
No, what they're trying to do is they're trying to lighten the load on that one transformer by splitting the lighting controls over two. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna correct it. I hope it will, but I don't wanna
Okay.
make false pretenses. Tri-State Fire's here this week to start their duct cleaning. They came in on Monday, so they're in the process of doing that. They got 2 of the units done, and although they said that because we clean the filters every month, that the system is relatively clean compared to some other facilities they've been in. There's still a lot of pollen and things of that nature that they're taking out. I saw what they've vacuumed out so far, and it's quite a bit. And they recommend that we do this every 5 years. And cleaning off some of the probes that are in line in the system, and Joe is actually now being able to see readings on the computer that he hasn't been able to see since day one.
Okay.
So I think that's a positive move. Then I have a couple of items I'd like to discuss in non-public relating to security and personnel.
Okay. I will say that I think for general public knowledge, we have entered into arbitration regarding the wall in the jail. The deadline was the 18th of July, and nothing has happened with the people responsible. And so we have given the attorney a go-ahead to facilitate arbitration with both the construction company and the architect, SMRT. So
That was effective the 18th. That's going to be effective the 18th.
that was the deadline we had to go to arbitration or to go to court
Okay.
regarding it. So we had to move fairly quickly to do that.
Okay.
Okay, anything further? Okay, we'll have to come back. Yes, go ahead, questions.
Is that arbitration done at the Superior Court, or is that done somewhere else?
I don't know, I can't speak any further. I just wanted to let you know that that is happening. I don't know the details on it, okay? Yes, Mr. Patterson?
You inquired whether these 3 people had left because of Primeco or whatever the name is.
Prime Care, yeah,
Prime Care.
yeah.
Did any of them leave because of the discussion we had last fall on cutting back nursing care at the hospital?
No. No, 2 of them, well, one was personal. The other one came in because of, she didn't expected that Prime Care was going to be taking over and didn't want to work for them. And then the third one is the nurse practitioner who may be getting another position, and the hours wouldn't be available. So I would classify that as personal.
But are they getting the position, Shay, because Representative McCarthy was so adamant about cutting the nursing costs at the jail?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, Mr. Albee?
If Jason's doing statistics for the delegation, I think I might be informative. I've had a chance to look at the jail list on a regular basis, and Representative McCarthy seems to think that Conway doesn't get any services from the county, and perhaps you could give Representative McCarthy a percentage of inmates that originate from.
I don't know.
his
Good
neck
point.
of the woods, which
Okay.
it
Good
seems
point.
to be a bunch of them. It doesn't sound like we have any new talent in the current pool of felons. Everybody's a repeater,
Well, out of 17, 11 were repeaters this week, yeah.
so there's 6 that were freshmen.
Freshman.
Get it, it's trained.
Anything further you have?
No.
Anybody else got any questions or comments? Yes? Maureen?
Just because I know at one point we wanted to try and collect statistics about the GED program being done in the jail. We
Mhm.
really didn't have any way to follow that up. I can tell you that I did run into an individual that did get his GED in the jail, and it's helping him to
Really?
find a job.
Okay, good.
So,
It did help him finding a job?
It is,
Is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
yeah.
Going along that same line, Maureen, I had Sergeant Phillips reach out to Conway and Wolfboro regarding in respects to the Plato program.
Yeah.
Wolfboro uses Odyssey, and Conway uses Plato, as far as I know. So I guess we want to look into Odyssey as well to see what that
Okay,
program is.
yeah.
In our conversation on the way down to Stratford that day,
Yes.
you had told me that Wolfboro got away from Plato,
Yes.
correct?
What's his name? He used to work in the kitchen here. Carroll County. He ran for commissioner a couple of times. Lives here in Ossipee. Dana.
Oh, Dana
Dana.
Streeter.
Dana Streeter administers the program, and he told me,
For what, Plato?
yes, at Kingswood, and I don't want to libel anybody, but I think, I'm sure that's what he said, and they got rid of it because it was too difficult for their students.
Too difficult.
Yeah. So that's my recollection. He may not have said that, but that's what I think he said, and maybe that's worth talking to him about.
Okay.
I looked at the contract that Jason provided, and I thought it was expensive, but when I've talked with him since, he says it's cheaper than doing the GED the way we were doing it in the past, so.
In a lot of that 9,000, is that what it
Yeah.
was, 9,000? Some of that's gonna go down next year because then we're just paying for licensing fees and we don't have to pay for somebody to come out and actually teach us how to use it. So some of that would actually go down, which would be
Oh, some of it's training?
Mhm.
Okay,
Which would be an additional savings next year,
okay.
so.
Anybody getting, yes, Ed?
Ed, come up, Brookfield. Jason, I wanted to know, how long a time do these repeaters stay incarcerated?
Some of them bail out within 24 hours. We do a lot of, especially at night, we do a lot of bookings for the local agencies. They bring them in, then we'll process and get them bailed. During the day, they try to address it through the court system. So a lot of them are bailed within 24 hours. I can try to get a breakout for you to show what our average length of stay is based on our OMS system. I can have that for you.
Well, it just seems like the penalties are not severe enough to make them not repeat. And like Commissioner Farnsworth was saying, that we need to come up with another way of making them not.
Depends on the judge, right, as to what penalty or what the bailout cost would be, correct?
And there's some where the judge has abilities, but there's some where it's set by statute. You know, as far as like sentencing goes.
I guess it goes back to what
And then,
former Commissioner Albee was asking for. Why can't, when Conway Police Department pick up one of these people, why can't they hold them and bail them out right there rather than bring them down to the county jail?
they do in a lot of cases. There's some people that they just can't manage because of their behavior or what have you. So they'll bring them down to us.
And then they get bailed out, so what's the difference?
You have that pesky innocent until proven guilty thing that we have here in the society that we have to deal with. I mean, just because someone's arrested doesn't mean that they've been adjudicated as guilty. So you have to work under the presumption of innocence. And that creates the bail situation and the process that we go through.
Okay.
What
Mr.
does that
Babson?
have to do with Conway and Ossipee? Why, if Conway can do it sometimes, why can't they do it all the time?
As far as holding,
Bailing.
as far as bailing individuals,
Listen,
I would sooner think that the only people that they typically bring down to us are those of the people that they can't house because of manning levels in their facility, behavioral issues. They have, I believe, and I don't want to speak for Chief Wagner, but I think they only have one cell or two cells and a dispatcher that keeps an eye on the person in the cell.
Yeah. Yes, Damon?
There's a big national story about a guy who robbed the bank for $1 and then sat on the bank couch to
Have medical.
to get arrested in order to get health care?
I did hear about that. I didn't read the article, but I did hear about it.
Are there people that look at the jail as their means for